My brothers and sisters of Burkina Faso, my fellow Africans, bound by the soil of this land. Today, I stand before you, not as a man with titles, not as a politician weaving promises, but as a son of this earth, a farmer with dirt on his boots, a soldier whose heart beats for our future. I speak to you from the fields of Bobo Deso, from the villages of Ogu, from the soul of a nation that has chosen to rise. I do not address the palaces of power, nor the conference halls of distant capitals. I speak to you, the hands that plant, the hearts that hope, the youth who dream of a tomorrow we can shape today. They call me a shadow, a ghost, a leader without a crown. They whisper my name in Nairobi, in Dar es Salaam, in Johannesburg, not because I sought their attention, but because our work thunders louder than their speeches. They point to my uniform, to my silence, and call it theater. They claim it is fear. But I ask you, who is truly afraid? Is it the man who walks beside farmers, who tills the land with them, or the one who barricades himself behind guns? Is it the nation that grows its own food, or the one begging for loans to buy bread? Is it the people building clinics with their own hands, or those signing away their future for hollow promises? This is not about me. It is about us. It is about the cassava we sow, the land we reclaim, the schools we open, the clinics we raise. It is about the women who now hold deeds to their fields, the youth who see a future not in foreign cities, but in their own soil. While others debate taxes, we plant seeds. While they argue over budgets, we dig wells. While they silence voices, we listen to the earth. Our Burkina Faso, scarred by sanctions, tested by struggle, is not crumbling. It is rising. We have tripled our gold revenue, not for foreign vaults, but for our people's hands. We have given land to those who work it, not to those who exploit it. We have built schools not for headlines, but for the minds that will forge our tomorrow. This is not theater. This is truth. This is power. This is sovereignty. Across this continent, the youth are watching. In Nairobi, they march with signs crying for food, not fear. In Accra, they whisper of a future where dignity is not a dream. In Lagos, they paint murals asking, why not us? They see our fields and wonder, why not here? They hear our silence and recognize a truth louder than speeches. To them, I say, you are not alone. Your hunger is not weakness. It is a call to build. Your doubt is not betrayal. It is the seed of change. You need no permission to grow, to rise, to demand a life where your children do not beg for what is rightfully theirs. Let me take you back to where this began. Not in a capital, not in a summit, but in the dust of our villages. 3 years ago, Burkina Faso stood at a crossroads. Our land was rich, yet our people starved. Our earth glittered with gold, yet our children walked barefoot. Our fields could feed millions, yet our markets sold imported rice. Foreign hands held our wealth, while ours clutched empty promises. We were told to wait, for loans, for aid, for approval. We were told to trust systems that kept us chained to leaders who spoke of freedom but delivered bondage. We chose a different path. We chose to act. We looked to our soil, to our hands, to our hearts. We rejected the lie that Africa must kneel to survive. We expelled the plunderers, not in anger, but in necessity. We nationalized our gold, not to hoard, but to build schools, clinics, roads for our people, not just elites. We gave land to farmers, not as charity, but as justice. We planted cassava, sorghum, millet, not for export, but for our tables. And in doing so, we rewrote our story, not with words, but with work, not with press conferences, but with plows. They call this a military regime. They call it chaos. But what is chaos? Is it a nation that feeds its people, or one that taxes their hunger? Is it a government that builds with its citizens, or one that builds walls to shut them out? In Nairobi, they bury youth shot for holding signs that read, "We are hungry." In Ouagadougou, we hand our youth seeds and say, "Grow." In Kenya, they jail bloggers for truth. In Burkina Faso, we listen to our people, not to silence them. In Johannesburg, they debate GDP while children starve. Here, we measure progress by mouths fed, by fields restored, by lives reclaimed. I do not speak to boast. I speak to reflect. What we do here is not just for Burkina Faso. It is a mirror held up to Africa, to the world. It is a question, why can't this be done everywhere? Why must a continent so rich in soil, sun, and spirit beg for survival. Why must our youth march for jobs when they could plant for prosperity? Why must our leaders beg foreign capitals for answers that lie in our own fields? They fear me, not for my rifle, but for what we represent. A model that rejects optics for outcomes. A system that trades speeches for shovels. A nation that does not negotiate dignity with donors, but builds it with its own hands. They fear me because our silence drowns their noise. Because our work exposes their excuses. Because when a sanctioned, landlocked nation triples its revenue, feeds its people, and builds its future, their failures become unbearable. When I walk our fields, here is what I see. Women who no longer wait for handouts, but hold deeds to their land. Children who no longer dream of fleeing to Europe, but of learning in schools we built. Youth who no longer chant for change. They create it, brick by brick, seed by seed. I see a Burkina Faso that does not ask permission to exist. And I see a continent watching, learning, awakening. In Nairobi, they turned a funeral into a warning. They spoke of me, not by name, as if I threatened their democracy. But I ask, what democracy buries its youth for asking for bread? What freedom jails poets and silences journalists? What system taxes sanitary pads but shields corruption? That is not democracy. It is decorum disguised as progress. It is fear masquerading as governance. And Burkina Faso rejects it, not with words, but with action. Our path is not perfect. We are not saints. We are a people tested by war, by sanctions, by history's weight. But we are not broken. We are building. Every cassava root we pull from the earth is a refusal to kneel. Every clinic we open is a declaration of independence. Every school we raise is a promise. Our children's future lies here, not across an ocean. This is not a revolution of guns. It is a revolution of will, of work, of faith in ourselves. To the youth of Africa, I say this. You are not powerless. You are not voiceless. Your anger is not a crime. It is a spark. Your hunger is not a shame. It is a call to rise. How Burkina Faso is leading Africa's awakening. This is a sign. You don't have to wait for elections to transform your world. You don't need to beg for dignity. You can cultivate it. You can construct it. You can nurture it. Look to your land, to your hands, to those beside you. The power to change Africa isn't held in foreign banks or conference rooms. It lives in you. To the leaders who fear us, hear this. Your fear isn't of me. It's of your own people. It's of the truth that only grows louder when silenced. It's of the questions your youth are demanding. If Burkina Faso can feed its people under sanctions, why can't we? If a soldier can stand with farmers, why do our leaders chase foreign donors? If a nation can build without debt, why are we drowning in it? These aren't acts of treason. They're the heartbeat of a continent rising. We aren't here to topple governments. We're here to dismantle excuses. We aren't here to wage war. We're here to secure futures. We aren't here to shout louder. We're here to dig deeper. Our silence isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's the sound of a people too focused on building to waste time on empty words. Let me share a story from our villages. Last month near Traore, women gathered. No electricity, no running water, no foreign aid. But they had land in each other. They planted millet not for export, but for their children. They formed a cooperative not with loans, but with their own savings. They sent daughters to a school built not with promises, but with their own hands. That is Burkina Faso today. That is the Africa we're making, not a continent of headlines, but of harvests, not of speeches, but of solutions. They'll claim this can't last. They'll say a soldier can't lead, that sanctions crush progress, that we can't succeed without foreign approval. They'll call our work a mirage. But let them walk our fields. Let them see the cassava growing, our clinics healing, our schools teaching. Let them call it a dream when it feeds real mouths, mends real bodies, educates real minds. We aren't perfect. I am not perfect. I'm a man of this soil, forged by its struggles, fueled by its dreams. I don't have all the answers, but I know they aren't in Washington, Paris, or Davos. They're here, in the hands of our farmers, the courage of our youth, the spirit of a people who reject being told they're less. We are enough, and we prove it daily. To the world watching, judge us by our harvests, not our uniforms. Measure us by our deeds, not our silence. Don't fear what we reject, respect what we build. We aren't a threat to your systems. We're a challenge to your excuses. We aren't rebelling against your order. We're revolting for our dignity. To my brothers and sisters across Africa, from Nairobi to Lomé, Cape Town to Cairo, you are the awakening. You're the fire no one can smother. Don't let them call your voice too small, your hands too weak, your dreams too bold. Your Africa's tomorrow, and it's today. Grab the shovel, the seed, the idea. Build where you stand. Let the world see what happens when Africa chooses freedom. They'll name us rebels, radicals, threats. Let them. We aren't here to answer their labels. We're here to answer our people. Not to win their approval, but to win our future. And we'll do it with work, not words. With proof, not promises. With faith, not fear. So let's keep planting, building, growing. Let our fields be our manifesto, our unity, our strength. Let the world see Burkina Faso isn't just a country. It's an idea that Africa stands tall not on others' promises, but on its people's labor. That dignity isn't borrowed, it's built. That silence isn't surrender. It's the sound of a people too busy creating to entertain doubt. This is our moment, our movement, our Africa. We'll show them what happens when a continent plants its own future, when we thrive, not just survive. Let them tremble not at our weapons, but at our will. For we are Burkina Faso, we are Africa, and we are awake.